Hello and welcome to Casual Chef's Kitchen. I'm Chef Matthew and welcome to the first video of the Young People's Cooking series. Today I'm going to be discussing basic kitchen tools and gadgets that you should have in your kitchen. So let's get to it. In this segment, we're going to be talking about cutting and grating. What I'd like to do is start off with the 8-inch chef knife, which should be your primary tool when you're especially when you're starting off with your knife skills. This is a must. And its little brother, the paring knife. These are your two primary knives to start off with in your kitchen. The next item is the board scraper, also known as a dough cutter. This is an all stainless steel, but they also come with a stainless steel blade and a wooden handle. Okay, I use my board scraper almost as much as I use my chef's knife. Okay, there's a lot of things you could do with it. You can obviously scrape your board, cut dough, but you can also smash garlic and do other things with this. Definitely do a little investment, and they're not that expensive. Now in the grating, this is a microplane. This is a very useful tool. It's great for a lot of your recipes will call for zesting of an orange, a lemon, or a lime. This is the tool you want to use. Okay. You could also grate hard cheese and do some fine grating. The next item is my handy dandy hand grater. I use this when I grate ginger, hard cheeses, and other things that need to be just simply grated. And then the big granddaddy of them all, the box grater. This has 1, 2, 3, 4 different sides to it. This is the primary side you'll use, which is a coarse shred or grate. Okay, this particular design has been around for a very, very long time. So let's go on to our next segment. In this segment, I'm going to be covering tools for fruits and veggies. The first item is the citrus reamer. Basically, you cut your citrus in half, your lemon, your orange, or your lime, and you ream out the inside to get the juice. The only problem with using a reamer is the seeds that are typically in lemons and oranges. To go a little more modern, this is a citrus squeezer. Cut your citrus in half, place it, cut face down, and squeeze over a bowl or a cup. This tends to keep the seeds within the bowl here. This is what I use. The next item is typically known as the potato peeler. I basically call it, or some people call it, a veggie peeler. This is the old-fashioned, to me, one of the best veggie or potato peelers. I have 2 of these. I do everything: potatoes, carrots, cucumbers. A lot of people are taught how to peel apples and so forth with a paring knife. I use a peeler. This is the old-fashioned style. They still sell these. And this is a newer version. The handle's bigger, same blade style, but this one is made by OXO. Now, there are other vegetable peelers that the handle and the actual blade are a T. It's just, but this is a must-have. And the last item in this category is one of my favorite tools, the potato masher. Big old handle. Again, this is an OXO product. OXO makes what they call the Good Grip series. Their handles are bigger, they're easier to use, and they're not so fatiguing on your hands. But this is a good stainless steel potato masher. I use it. I like and love to mash my own potatoes. I also use this with butternut squash and other things. But this is, I feel, is a must-have in your kitchen. And on to the next segment. And in this segment, we're going to be covering measuring. There are some things that you need to know when purchasing and using measuring tools in the kitchen. Let's get started. These are my stainless steel measuring spoons, from tablespoon all the way down to 1/8 of a teaspoon. Used in all different types of cooking, from baking to savory and so forth. So this is an important tool for consistency and accuracy in your small measuring. The measuring spoons also come in plastic, such as these. Now, the next item are measuring cups. This is a full set, goes from 1 cup all the way down to 1/8 of a cup. These are stainless steel, and these are for dry measurement. There's 2 types of measurement. There's wet measurement and dry measurement. You would never measure milk or water in one of these cups. This is for dry measurement. Measuring cups also come in plastic. I prefer stainless. Now for wet measure, we go with the Pyrex or a similar cup, glass cup. Pyrex is the leading, and they're everywhere. This is a 1 cup. On this, it has basically in cups, ounces and ounces. So if your recipe calls for 6 ounces of water, it's right here on the cup. In my kitchen, I have 2 1 cups, a 2 cup, and a 4 cup. These do come larger, but this is your standard set that you should have within your kitchen. So on to the next segment. In this segment, I'll be covering stirring and whisking. I'm going to start off with some basics. Your basic plastic spoons, you have basically a regular spoon and you have your slotted. The plastic spoons are actually really good, obviously, in like Teflon pans and non-stick pans and so forth. But this is your 2 styles: slotted and whole or solid. I also have wooden spoons, which I cook with a lot because they don't heat up and so forth. But this is just 2 different styles of wooden spoons. Don't put wooden spoons or wooden utensils in your dishwasher. The heat and so forth basically breaks them down. They start to crack and so forth. And then my other 2 styles of spoons, I have metal spoons. This is a longer handled spoon for working in like stock pots and so forth. And again, another slotted spoon, which I do use quite often in my kitchen. One of my favorite tools is this wooden spatula. I do a lot of my sautés and stir fries and so forth in my saute pans and so forth with this tool. Because it's flat, you can break up ground meat a lot easier and faster. This is a very good universal tool to have. To me, this is a must-have in your kitchen. Now I want to discuss the type of spatulas. This is your standard rubber spatula, and this is your scoop style spatula. Okay, these are for small to medium uses. They do come longer and bigger. Okay, but one of the things I want to point out is the color of these handles. The red handles denote that these are for high temp uses. If you try to use a white handle or a wooden handle rubber spatula, they will melt under high heat or at minimum deform. If you're going to be buying rubber spatulas, invest a little bit more money and get the high heat so you can use them anywhere in your kitchen. Okay? These rubber spatulas are great for baking or working with mashed potatoes, other soft goods. So these are, yes, good item to have in your kitchen. And the last item, there are several types of whisks. The first one I want to talk about, this is the French whisk. This is your standard whisk, and this is, for whisking up eggs and so forth, or meringues or whatnot. One of the things you want to look for is the nice bigger handle. Okay, this is all stainless, easy to clean, and doesn't rust. Cheap, inexpensive whisks will rust on you because they're not made of stainless. And the other one, this is what they call the flat whisk. This is great for doing gravies and working on roux and so forth. Definitely a must in your kitchen. And let's go to the next segment. In this segment, I'll be covering food handling. My first fun toy is the pasta spoon or the pasta fork. This is obviously is used for serving of long pastas and so forth, but you can also, instead of dirtying up 2 spoons, you could also stir your pasta with your pasta fork or spoon. Now, they say that this hole is if you put your long pasta in here, it's supposed to be 1 serving. I'm sorry, I can eat more than that, so I don't go by that. Let's cover spatulas. Your 2 typical spatulas are going to be metal or plastic. Plastic is obviously very good for your non-sticks and Teflon pans and so forth. Your metal spatulas are great for glass and metal, but they basically do the same job, flipping things and serving things. Okay? The next spatula that I want to discuss is the fish spatula. This was designed originally to flip or serve fish, salmon, and so forth. It is flexible, so you can get into your pan, but I use this for many things and serving things. This is to me a great tool to have in your kitchen. The next item I want to discuss is ladles. I have 2 different styles of ladles. I call them different styles because this to me is a serving ladle and to serve soups and stews and other liquid foods. Okay, and this stainless steel is actually 4 ounces. So the ladle portion would be 4 liquid ounces. Okay, I have a 4 and I have a 2. It's like when I do my creme brulee, I use my 2 ounce to help fill my ramekins. This is how restaurants help keep their costs down by standardizing their portion. Okay. And last in this category, tongs. There's a couple things about tongs. They come in all different sizes. I have tongs that are this big, and I've got a barbecue set that is this big, but these are your 2 standard sizes in your kitchen. Yeah, I call this the small, and this is the large. Okay. My small has seen better days. It had grippies like this on this one, but they broke off. Not in food. So the other key feature, other than having nice grippies, is the lock. So basically, when they're closed, you can lock them in the closed position. Look for that when you're buying your tongs. It's going to save you some headache. And on to the next segment. And in this segment, I'm going to cover straining. I'd like to start off with some of the basic wire strainers. I have 3 different sizes. I got a little itty bitty small one for just little tiny jobs. This one I use quite a bit. And this one I use a lot. Rinsing beans and washing things out and so forth. Straining spinach, frozen spinach, you get the juices out of it for like spinach dip and so forth. So at least this is the one that you should have on hand. I just happen to have 3, but the wire strainer is a must. Its cousin is what they call the spider. Nice long handle, because you use this for dipping in and taking out things from hot oil. Use a lot in Oriental cooking, but also it can be used in regular frying. This allows the hot grease and hot oil to get away from your food product. Okay? And the next, colanders. I have multiple colanders in my house, in my kitchen. I've got my big Voodoo Daddy, which I use a lot for pastas and so forth. It's great because it's stainless steel, cleans up really well, gets that pasta starch off. And I have a couple plastic ones. Sometimes I use the plastic ones to put vegetables, root vegetables, and so forth. So I'll be using them during the week and so forth. But colanders and wire strainers are great. So let's go to the next segment. In this segment is miscellaneous. This is a very broad category, so I have chosen a select few items that I believe you should have in your kitchen. So let's get to it. First item that I love having, tasting spoons. One, yes, is just a regular teaspoon, but I have extras in my kitchen. That way I am not depleting my normal silverware of its teaspoon. And I also have a small version, and there's a joke behind these why I have them, and it has to do with my daughter when she was little. But I not only use these for tasting, but I also use them for spooning out dried herbs and spices. So just use your regular teaspoons, but continue to taste your food as you are cooking. The next item, towels. I like terry cloth towels. Most terry cloth towels you find are white. I like black. It's not because I love the color black, but because black towels don't show stains. Terry cloth towels are great for wiping your hands in your forearms and wiping down your chef's knife and keeping your work area clean. So I go through towels quite a bit. Again, I prefer terry cloth towels. That choice is up to you, but have towels on hand. Next item, kitchen shears. This is a very basic format of kitchen shears, but there's one thing important that you want to remember when buying your kitchen shears is that they come apart. They come apart so you can clean them, because with a normal pair of scissors, they're almost impossible to clean in the swivel joint. So invest in a good pair of kitchen shears that come apart into two. The next item is a can opener. This, I've mentioned OXO and Good Grip before in this piece, but this is an OXO Good Grip can opener. It's got a big handle and it's got big turning handle and big handles so it doesn't hurt your hand. Very good, great investment, but you need a can opener in your kitchen. Invest in a good one. Pastry brushes. Pastry brushes come in two different situations here. You've got your natural fiber, which are very old school, and your synthetic. Now, when the synthetics first came out, this is just me speaking, I was like, I don't know if I like this. But one thing about the natural bristle is they're hard to clean, especially things with sugars and oils. I have actually stopped using my natural bristle brushes, and I have started and solely use the synthetic bristles. They do a fantastic job. The next item, wine openers. I have two in my kitchen. I have the old school, what I call the butterfly. A lot of wine enthusiasts don't like these. One of my favorite sayings in my kitchen is because I can. I like it. It works for me. I don't have problems. This little guy is what I call a set of blades. There's two metal blades that basically you slide down between the cork and the bottle wall. And basically you work out the cork that way. Very effective, great tool. Both of these are actually inexpensive. The next item, a pizza cutter. Not just for pizza. You could be cutting dough with it. You could be cutting, if you're ambitious and are cutting, or I'm sorry, if you're making fresh pasta, great for cutting pasta, and so forth. Again, this is an OXO Good Grip. It's got a nice big blade. It's not, I mean, pizza cutters are not supposed to be super sharp, but it's got a nice big handle, and we have cut, I don't know, hundreds of pizzas with this particular tool. And last is, this was suggested to me by one of the casual chef members, the meat mallet. Meat mallets have two sides. They've got the flat side and they have the teeth side. Basically, it's not technically supposed to be heavy. This is a very simple design, simple tool, but this is for flattening out chicken and veal and other meats, or breaking up cookies and stuff for baking. One of the other things you can use instead of the meat mallet to tenderize and or flatten is a rolling pin or a can or similar things. So that's it for miscellaneous. As you can see, there's a lot to take in when it comes to tools and gadgets and thingamajigs and toys for your kitchen. I selected what I consider the bare minimum, or at least what you would like to get to be effective in the kitchen with tools and gadgets that are tried and true and have a purpose in your kitchen and to help you with your culinary adventures. You can purchase your items online, of course, but sometimes you want to put that item in your hand. So going to a retail kitchen store might be the best bet for you. Or what I do in most cases is I go to my commercial restaurant supply stores. They have a lot of these same items. So do some shopping. I will cover more in depth on some items like knives and so forth in future video segments. Have a great day, eat great food, and have fun cooking.